Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time we've got the pleasure of watching TurboMcKickAssington. I feel like if you had more space to write, you should have put the third or the fourth, you know, because obviously with a quality name like that, old boy, you're probably going to be in a long line of TurboMcKickAssingtons, right? And I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to be calling you Turbo just for short, because I'm pretty sure that tongue twister of a name is going to lead to me just absolutely slaying it later on in this commentary. Now, Turbo is playing in the Tier 7 American Light Tank, and previously I would have had to clarify that one of two Tier 7 American light tanks, and that's because up until this patch, the Walker Bulldog was also a Tier 7 light tank. I recently did a video on the T-71 where I have a game that's fairly good on Moravanka, but it pales in comparison to what Turbo is going to achieve here, but no spoilers. I'm just going to quickly sum up what I said in that video, but not in quite as much detail, and if you want to know more about what I think about the Walker Bulldog and how the T-71 is currently at Tier 7, then you should go and check that out. Long story short, Walker Bulldog, now the autoloader, is not competitive at all at Tier 8. However, the T-71 has effectively remained the same vehicle, albeit it has lost 30mm of penetration from its standard APCR rounds, now with 145 instead of 175 like it had in the previous patch. It's gained a little bit of power to weight ratio, but it's lost 10 meters view range, but it's still got a very healthy 390 meters view range at Tier 7. And so what this means is that the T-71 now meets Tier 5 vehicles, and considering that it's got the same size magazine and pretty much everything else about the vehicle is just as good, and if you don't like the 145mm of penetration, well, just dab that 2 kilo some gold, and 210 will certainly sort you out against the toughest targets that you're going to meet, really. And so the T-71 just feels like this absolute monster now. 650 damage, 76mm shells is more than enough to take out multiple Tier 5 opponents, pretty much every Tier 6 you're ever going to meet, and you're even starting to take most of the hit points away from equal tiered opponents, Tier 7 up to Tier 8, and even Tier 9 tanks don't want to take 900 damage, right? And with 145mm of penetration, that will start to draw back in the harder matchups, but the APCR's 145 should be sufficient for a game like this. Now, Turbo is dominating this western flank on Erlenberg, but you've definitely got to be careful here, because if the enemies do manage to push their way down this flank, then this position does become vulnerable. And we can see that the M44 on Turbo's team and the T-67 have fallen back. Well, actually, the T-67 is deciding to come back. Maybe he thinks that he can get a little bit of additional damage from Turbo spotting as he does fall back. But Turbo makes the right move here to run away, because if he does get stuck there, there's no doubt that AMX 1375 is going to be able to come after him, and all it takes is one stray shell from a KV-2 or an OI, and you are not very well in your light tanks. Talking about AMX 1375, he pops up, spots Turbo, puts one into him, but luckily Turbo doesn't take any more damage than that, so that is a fairly good result, escaping from that terrible situation. He was certainly very, very vulnerable there. And that's probably one of the most annoying things about this patch of World of Tanks, is a lot of people are playing these mid-tier light tank autoloaders because it just feels so darn strong. In fact, I would go as far as to say that the T-71 is probably one of the best light tanks tier for tier in the game right now. And I absolutely despise getting caught by AMX 1375s when I'm playing my lightly armored tanks, or even some of my more reasonably armored tanks if they do catch me in the side or the rear. Having fallen back from the west, now Turbo is going to try and assist his team in the east, and it doesn't look like they've had very much luck over on this flank, and also in the middle of the map, because even though that Turbo is up a couple of kills, his team is down 4 kills on the enemy, so Turbo certainly has his work cut out for him here if he wants to make a comeback into this one. And that's a pretty good start. He shuts down a BDR and he shuts down a Leopard, both those Tier 5 tanks. Previously, I don't believe the T-71 would have met the Leopard. Let's think about it. Was the Leopard a lower tier? I'm not 100% certain. But one thing I am certain of is that previously the T-71 wouldn't have met that BDR, and it just feels absolutely crazy how powerful these high-tier light tanks are against those Tier 5 vehicles. But then again, I guess you feel like that when you're playing in something like a Comet or a T-20 against them. Anyway, Turbo now is deciding to load some heat rounds. I wonder why he chose to load heat. Maybe it was specifically for this 88 and he thought he was going to struggle against the front of the armor. But I think that those rounds more or less wasted. But oh, whoa, that KV-2 certainly could have ended things there. That 152mm howitzer narrowly missing Turbo's vehicle, and that would have just taken his entire tank away. He dabs his spacebar or whatever he's bounded it to dash the handbrake, and he turns his vehicle around very quickly indeed to be able to completely outmaneuver this KV-2 and shut him. Oh, wait a minute, no, one shell, don't miss, don't cock it up, Turbo, you can do it. Oh, good, clean hit there into the rear of the KV-2. That would have been disastrous if he'd missed that. And this is just one thing that's absolutely beautiful about the T-71 right now, is that its magazine reload is just simply awesome. It's 20 seconds before you take into account things like crew skills, the cola that Turbo's using, maybe he's got brothers in arms, things like that, vents on this tank as well, and all of those things will cut that 20-second reload even lower. And so you don't feel that you leave yourself vulnerable for unloading on an artillery like that, and then going for a full reload so you've got your magazine to be able to engage once again. And so it just feels the T-71's magazine is a real sweet spot for me, and it almost feels even better than the Walker Bulldog did when it was at Tier 7, of course still having that Tier 8 matchmaking. Now, unfortunately for Turbo, the Panzer III-4 falls, and so that leaves him in a 1 versus 7 situation. Is it 1 versus 7? Yes, it is 1 versus 7. Always make those kind of mistakes there. Oh, get it right, Scrub Baby. But we don't have time to worry about that because Turbo's got a 1375. He quite rightly skips shooting the OI experimental, turns his attention to the 1375, puts 2 into him, puts 3 into him before he takes another hit, but he's got 200 hit points. Surely this OI is going to kill him. The OI misses, and Turbo puts his final round of his magazine into the OI and now tries to get himself out of harm's way. The artillery on the enemy team removing 285 hit points there. That Su-8 nearly taking Turbo out. But now he's certainly back into it. He's managed to escape the OI, but it's not over. He's completely surrounded. He's got 5 tanks shooting at him and 1 artillery trying to focus him down here. He takes down the Stridsvagn M42. Su-100M1 makes his way, misses Turbo, who he shoots in the side of the tank, and he turns his attention back towards the OI experimental. Now, there is a vehicle in the cap circle right now, but he doesn't really need to worry about that. All he needs to do is to focus taking out this OI experimental. He's going to have to roll really high if he wants to kill him, and he does not. No more shells in the magazine. He's got to get away from that absolute fat Tier 5 Japanese heavy tank, who's probably using a gun of 300 damage in caliber. Well, 300 damage. I don't exactly know what the caliber is. It's like 130 or 140. But all we really need to know right now is that any one of these Japanese heavy tanks would be able to finish off Turbo. But just look how this vehicle reloads. It's absolutely incredible. Turbo manages to evade the OI experimental, get a full reload in those 20 seconds, and then finish him off. And now he's loading his last heat magazine. He sees an OI trundling towards him. He hears the GW Panther misses. Where's that OI going to be? Surely he's going to be cresting the ridge right now, and Turbo's trying to flank him. Turbo auto-aims. Will the OI have the gun depression? It's got 10 degrees over the side of the tank. Don't risk it, Turbo. Oh, the artillery narrowly missing again, but Turbo's got to hurry up. Even though he's picked up 4,000 damage nearly and 10 kills, this game is still neck and neck with must be either the artillery or the AT2 in the cap circle, and he's only got 25 seconds to get there now. Luckily, the T-71 has excellent mobility and 390 meters view range, but he's still cutting it really close. 17, 16. Come on, Turbo, find out if it's the AT2 or if it is the artillery in the cap circle. 10, 9. He spots the AT2. 8, 7. He might only get one shot here. 5, 4, 3. Oh, he goes right into the tank, taking him out with that heat round, and he's still got 5 left for that OI. How healthy is the OI? It looks like the OI was on about 600 odd hit points. Let's think about it. With 5 rounds, he can do 750 if he penetrates them all. Let's see exactly what that OI is on. Oh, he's only on 452. Okay, so he's probably only going to have to penetrate 3 rounds if he rolls slightly high, or 4 rounds if he rolls low. But Turbo actually decides now to reload an APCR magazine. I guess that's because he only has 5 heat. Oh, that could have been bad as well. How many moments are we going to have in this replay? All of these derp guns. I'm going to have no voice by the end of this. Turbo, please stop giving me a heart attack, buddy. So I guess the reason why Turbo is loading the APCR magazine here is because he realizes those 210mm of heat penetration are going to be exceptionally useful against the thick Japanese heavy, and he can use the APCR magazine against the softly armored Tier 7 German self-propelled gun. Please don't hotshot, please don't hotshot. He bounces, come on, take your time. Good, okay. GW Panther assassinated. Now he reloads that heat magazine, and he has picked up 12 kills, guys. That is the most kills that I've personally ever managed to achieve in World of Tanks in a single game. Albeit that was in an E75 a couple of tiers higher. But Turbo is going to be going for his 13th, and it's just such a shame that he's not on 13 right now, as he would be going for the rarest of medals, something that I don't think I'm ever going to get. But I've seen quite a few awesome replays in my time of people achieving it. That is a Night Heroes medal for achieving 14 out of 15 of the enemy team. So Turbo does manage to spot that OI trundling towards the cap circle, and he's hoping he's going to go around the corner here. Will he? Yes, he does. Come on, fly true. 0.39 accuracy on this tank. Oh, Turbo decides not to fire there? Okay. I guess he's really worried about the amount of ammunition that he has left. And so he decides not to take a swing at that OI, but he does get spotted, and that's probably a good idea to be able to get out of harm's way. Now, Turbo has 4 minutes, so he's pretty comfortable right now. If I was in the T71 right now, I would be thinking about trying to just keep my... there would basically be a sweet spot for the T71. From here until 445 meters, I expect that I'm going to be able to spot the OI, and he's not going to be able to spot me. So I would get the initial spot, maneuver myself into a position, maybe at about 445, or if you wanted to be extra safe beyond that, and then fire away at him. You have to use your advantage of the tank, and that is long-range engagements in your light tanks to outspot the big derpy heavies. The OI doesn't manage to see him through the bushes there. Turbo decides not to fire again. I wonder why he's trying to wait for such clean shots. Now, it might be the 0.39 accuracy, it might be the fact that he's only got 5 heat rounds left. And thinking about it, actually, the APCR rounds on this tank have been nerfed substantially now that the vehicle has Tier 7 matchmaking rather than Tier 8 standard matchmaking like it had last patch. 145 isn't going to be enough to go through the front of the OI reliably at all, and you're going to have to hit the side of that tank, and even the rear of that vehicle is very strong. You're going to have to hit the side of the tank to be efficient. But Turbo's slowly allowing the OI to count down the clock. Okay, that's got to be the shot. Surely you've got to take your chance now, buddy. Yeah, there we go. Flies true. It low rolls, and Turbo tries to fire the second one. Not sure if that was the correct thing to do to fire the second one there, considering how safe he's been with his ammunition so far. He's been very reserved. He's trying to make use of every single one of these heat rounds remaining. But he's now only got 2 minutes and 22 seconds left on this game to be able to interrupt. And the OI, interestingly enough, he doesn't actually have enough time to be able to cap out and win this game. And I bet you Turbo was a little bit disappointed that the round that did penetrate the OI low rolled, because really now a lot more times out of 10 he's going to have to penetrate every single one of these remaining heat rounds if he wants to take him down. The siren goes off. 2 minutes left on the game. Surely, Turbo, you should have flanked towards the north or the south and be able to get round to get him behind the OI and use this ridge line here. But that's too little too late now. Turbo's just trying to find more angles on this OI. He doesn't manage to find him. Doesn't spot him. Now with 1 minute and 40 seconds left. Come on! Live up to your name, McKickAssington. You've got to get in there and show this Tier 6 Japanese heavy who is the boss right now. Turbo finally decides to enter the cap circle. Now alarm bells must be going off in the OI's mind. Okay, he's in the cap circle. Well, he's not behind me, so that means he must be in front of me. So it looks like the OI realizes now where the T71 is going to be, and he's thinking about poking his way around this corner. Or maybe he's just trying to avoid the OI, knowing that he can't cap in time now, especially with the T71 inside the cap circle. Thinks that he's going to poke, or is he? Now a minute left on the game. Here comes that timer. Tick-tock, Turbo. It's time to do something here, buddy. Not sure how long you can leave it. He's not going to have a chance to reload if he leaves it too much longer. There's the OI. Has the OI spotted him? Yes, he has. Turbo puts one into the side turret of the OI, and the OI misses! This is your chance! And what a beautiful roll, 178 damage dealt, meaning that it's quite likely that he's only going to need to penetrate one of his remaining 2 shells in this game. He spots the OI, has the side of the front turret, puts one in, 13 kills, 4,865 damage dealt. What an incredible round of World of Tanks for this tier 7 American light tank. So Turbo pretty much just nails all of the medals in this replay. He gets a pass Coochies for killing 2 self-propelled guns, the one that everyone wants, the Colobanos medal for standing alone against at least 5 opponents, a Pools medal for his 10 to 13 kills in this replay, one off the Rezena Heroes medal as I mentioned. He also gets a Defender for interrupting the cap circle pretty much towards the end multiple times in this replay, a Tank Sniper for dealing the most damage at long range, and unsurprisingly a High Caliber for 5,123 damage dealt. And to put this into perspective, that is over 25% higher than the rest of his team was able to do combined, granting Turbo the vast majority of the experience points distributed between his team, 2,062 to be exact. Turbo, congratulations to you on this monster replay. It's the only replay of all time uploaded where a T71 has achieved 13 kills. And thanks for uploading it to the What Replays website to share with the community. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and hopefully all of you enjoyed this video as well. If you did, please consider giving it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.